We begin with breaking news out of Utah. Right now, authorities continue to search for the man who murdered conservative activist and husband and father of two, 31-year-old Charlie Kirk. Thank you for watching Wink News at Noon. I'm Amanda Hall. We have new information from this morning on the federal investigation. At 12:20 yesterday on the campus of Utah Valley University, a shooter killed Kirk using what detectives believe was a high-powered rifle. They found one such weapon in the nearby woods where they believe the shooter took off to, alongside other kinds of possible evidence. Commissioner Bo Mason with Utah Public Safety walks us through the timeline of events.
We were able to make a few breakthroughs. We were able to track the movements of the shooter. Starting at 11:52 a.m., the subject arrived on campus, shortly away from campus. We have tracked his movements onto the campus, through the stairwells, up to the roof, across the roof to a shooting location. After the shooting, we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus and into a neighborhood. Our investigators have worked through those neighborhoods, contacting anybody they can with doorbell cameras, witnesses, and have thoroughly worked through those communities, trying to identify any leads. We do have good video footage of this individual. We are not going to release that at this time.
And that's not all. Investigators also found some possible evidence. They canvassed the neighborhood, then searched through the nearby woods, and here's what they found. They found a footwear impression. They found a palm print, the high-powered rifle that we mentioned earlier, a forearm imprint, as well as several images of the suspected shooter, which, as you heard, they're not releasing yet. They do believe the shooter is college age. So far, the FBI has received more than 130 tips. Special Agent Robert Bowles of the Salt Lake Field Office says they'll use every resource at their disposal.
The FBI has brought every resource to bear, and we will continue to do so throughout the course of this investigation. The FBI's mission is to protect the American people. It's to uphold the Constitution of the United States. Any attack on the First Amendment is an attack on the very foundation of our democracy. We also continue to grieve with the family and the community. It's our community.
So for a little bit better perspective on how this happened, take a look at this map of Utah Valley University. You can see where Kirk was speaking here, that stadium-style seating around him. That's the approximate site of the shooting. And they believe that the shooter fired from on top of a building, but after a confusing couple of hours from the FBI, that shooter has not been caught. FBI Director Kash Patel posted on X at 6:20 last night that the subject of the shooting was in custody. Then not even 2 hours later at 8 o'clock, Patel replied to that message saying the subject in custody has been released after an interrogation by law enforcement. And Commissioner Mason says the initial cleared persons of interest have already faced public backlash.
Yesterday, during the investigative process, we located a couple of persons of interest. We interviewed those individuals, and after releasing them and after clearing them of being suspects, they faced scrutiny, they faced threats. We asked the public to be patient with the investigative process. These individuals were not suspects, they were people of interest. We ask that you do not impose into those people and that investigative process. They don't deserve that harassment for being subject to that.
When he was shot yesterday, it happened during Prove Me Wrong debates that Kirk would hold on campuses. That's where he would invite students to challenge his beliefs. Somebody had just asked him a question about gun violence at the time of the shooting. Still plenty of unanswered questions in this investigation, questions Wink News will stay on top of and help to provide answers for as they come in. We're also hearing now that President Trump has announced he is awarding Charlie Kirk with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Joining me here at the desk is our safety and security analyst, Richard Kolko. So we're taking a look at some of the evidence. How does this evidence lead to a shooter?
Treasure trove. They've got a great start. When we first happened yesterday afternoon, it didn't sound like they had a lot to work on, but what they've discovered and what we heard the law enforcement official detail to us today, very, very helpful. The footwear impression, palm print, the rifle. The rifle would have already been turned over to the ATF. They'll be tracking the rifle. They'll find out where that was purchased. They'll go all the way back to the manufacturer. That will be very helpful. At some point when that rifle was purchased, somebody had to do paperwork on it. They'll do everything they can to find out how it got into the shooter's hands and hopefully lead his way. Forearm imprint. These are also things that could provide DNA evidence. So law enforcement's got plenty to work on right there. The images of the subject. They'll use face recognition software. As we heard him say, they're going to search for every camera that's out there, license plate readers, toll booth readers, all kinds of information that's going to be helpful putting this together. They'll have a huge command post, put together a team, they'll divide agents and law enforcement officers into different areas, and they'll be working on these separate issues.
Why not release those images that they have of the suspected shooter?
Great question. What they want to do is they want to, this happened in the Boston Marathon bombing, if you remember that.
Yep.
The images got out, they were leaked out from the command post, and it led to some people being falsely accused and actually arrested for a while. They want to make sure they have the right person. Just having an image of them doesn't mean it's the right person. So, and also, if, or not if, when they identify him, and inevitably they will, hopefully it'll be very quickly, they will have to work furiously to prepare search warrants and such, and they want to get to this person's home or car as quick as possible before the media, before anybody else does. So they're going to hold on to him as long as possible. They probably want to hold on to him for a while, but they got to be worried about them leaking out. We'll follow this throughout the day.
Okay, thank you very much, Rich. We appreciate that. Moving on, the impact of Kirk's death has been felt throughout our country, including right here in Southwest Florida. And there is a vigil tonight in Fort Myers to honor him. Wink News reporter Summer Senni says the organizers want to help bring people together.
The vigil was supposed to be here at Riverside Park, but the park is closed for construction, so it's now being moved across the street to the Bay End lot tonight at 7 o'clock. If the gathering gets too large for that space, the groups will move to the Lilo's Hotel Plaza and Green Space. The two groups that are putting on this vigil say that in a time and in a world that can sometimes feel divisive, they want to bring people together, and they're not the only ones. Wink News spoke with students at FGCU who cannot believe that such a tragedy like this happened.
I have not seen the video. I don't really want to see it. Him getting shot was a travesty, because anyone getting shot's a travesty. We're all God's creation.
Our local leaders are also speaking out about Wednesday's tragedy. Congressman Byron Donalds joined On the Drive with Trey Radel on 92.5 Right All Along, calling this act a dark day in America.
He didn't just take the First Amendment, he lived it and expressed himself very clearly in what his views were, and was never ashamed about it. It was never, and also didn't put other people down for what he believes. And I think that was one of the things that was very special about Charlie. To lose him is devastating. It truly is devastating.
President Donald Trump also took a moment to address the nation yesterday after Charlie Kirk's death, saying Kirk championed ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace, and Kirk's message and legacy will live on.
Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth.
The president has ordered all American flags throughout the country to be lowered at half-staff until Sunday night at 6 o'clock. Again, tonight's vigil for Charlie Kirk is going to be right across the street from Riverside Park in the Bay End lot at 7 o'clock. Of course, today is also 9/11, and the organizers of the event have said that they are going to honor all fallen Americans here tonight as well. In Bonita Springs, Summer Senni, Wink News.